The Nigerian government announces date of commencement of WAEC examination. No going back on 340 billion naira Chinese loan for rail light, says Kano state government. NMPC officials stole 48 million barrels of oil. On business, banks' non-performing loans now stands at 1.2 trillion naira. And on the international scene, Iran vows to lodge complaint against U.S. fighter jets for harassment of its passenger plane. Welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Oniyoza. The federal government has said the West African Senior School Certificate Examination subject peculiar to Nigerian candidates will be taken from September 5th through September 14, 2020. The government said the exams for subjects common to all English-speaking countries of West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and Liberia will proceed as previously published on August 17. The Minister of State for Education, Emeka Nwajubara, made this known at the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 meeting on Monday. According to him, all the state commissioners and governors have agreed that all schools will open in Nigeria from August 3rd. This is to prepare the students for the WAEC, which will begin on August 17th. He said this varies the timetable agitated earlier by as much as 2 weeks. The agreement entails that WAEC West Africa and all the countries that are in it have agreed that the exams should proceed, but the exams peculiar to Nigeria will be taken from September 5th through to September 14th. He said Nigeria will then proceed to demonstrate its own timetable for the exams. The exams that are common to all the countries of West Africa will proceed as previously published on August 17th. This today was accepted by every state in Nigeria and endorsed by the Presidential Task Force at its meeting, adding that revision classes begin from today. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has assured that stamp duty will not be collected in arrears from tenants. It also said it should not be collected from tenants by landlords. The executive chairman of the service, Malam Mohammed Nami, disclosed this as part of the planned stamp duty palliatives for tenants. Malam Nami, during the disclosure on a morning show, Your View on TVC, said the service is working towards the stamp duty palliative package in view of the current economic realities occasioned by COVID-19. According to a statement by the service spokesperson, Abdullahi Ahmed, Mr. Nami said there is never a time when taxation is convenient for everybody to pay. He, however, urged Nigerians to embrace tax payment as a patriotic duty to our dear country, Nigeria. The Katsina State government has begun the training of public office holders in the state on assets declaration and code of conduct in order to enhance transparency and accountability in piloting the affairs of government offices. Governor Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State, while declaring the two-day workshop open on Monday, said the workshop is aimed at acquainting political appointees and public office holders with the code of conduct as enshrined in various sectors of the Constitution. He reiterated that meaningful development could only be achieved through transparency, decorum, accountability, as well as judicious utilization of public funds by public office holders. He reminded the participants that the positions they occupied is based on the public trust, which must be sustained for delivery of policies and programs that are aimed at improving the socio-economic well-being of people in the state. Kano state government says there is no going back on its intention to access loans for the construction of the light rail transit project in metropolitan Kano, a project conceived after due consultations with major stakeholders in the state. The government also insists that the light rail project, apart from other benefits, is designed to expand commercial activities and ease transportation of agricultural goods and services across the state for the benefit of the good people of the state. A press release issued by the Commissioner for Information Mala Mohammed Garba and made available to Premium Time News on Monday night in a swift reaction to a statement by the Kwankwasiya movement on the project indicate that no movement of criticism will deter the government from carrying out laudable project that aimed at transforming Kano to a mega city. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on Monday arraigned a firm, Renocon Properties Development Limited, and its managing director Babatunde Morakinyo for alleged failure to report in writing to the anti-graft agency transfers of total sum of $1.29 million and 46 million naira into the company's account. The 6 counts filed by the EFCC against Morakinyo and Renocon Properties Development Limited border on money laundering. They were arraigned before Justice Rilwan Aikawa, the Federal High Court in Lagos. Morakinyo was accused of failing to report in writing to the EFCC for a single transfer of $1 million, $290,703, 16 million naira and 30 million naira into the bank account of Renocon Properties Development Limited. The FCC said the transactions were made between 2013 and 2015. The prosecution said Morakinyo and Renocon Properties Development Limited contravened Section 10, subsection 1 of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011. The defendant pleaded not guilty and the judge adjourned the case till October 15, 2020 for the commencement of the trial. 4 civil society groups who have been monitoring the OPL 245 scandal have raised 25 questions for Nigerian Justice Minister Abubakar Malami on the handling of the assets recovered in relation to the oil block. The groups include Kano House, Global Witness, and Recarbon, all European transparency organizations, and the Human and Environmental Development Agenda, a Nigerian anti-corruption group. In the list of questions sent on Sunday, the groups demanded details of agreement the Nigerian government signed with consultant for the recovery of assets related to the OPL 245 saga. Premium Times has reported on the OPL 245 Malabo scandal, for which 2 oil giants, Shell and Eni, and their officials as well as some former Nigerian public officials have been investigated or prosecuted in various countries. The oil giant paid about $1.1 billion for the Nigerian oil block in 2011, money that ended up in private hands, including that of Nigeria's former Petroleum Minister Dan Etete. The Nigerian government has now said the whole deal was fraudulent and seek to recover the total sum from the beneficiaries. An oil trading firm, Svtv, has written a letter to the Group Managing Director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari, demanding 5% reward for exposing the diversion and theft of 48 million barrels of crude oil. At the current price of global crude oil, which is $45 per barrel, the stolen oil is expected to worth $2.06 billion by today's standard. The alleged theft took place in 2015. The allegations are contained in a letter signed by lawyer Boyega Oyewole on behalf of the whistleblower dated July 23, 2020. The letter is titled Formal Request for the Payment of 5% Whistleblower Compensation for Information Furnished in Respect of Crude Oil Stolen from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In the letter, it was stated that the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mr. Mele Kyari, the late Chief of Staff to the President Buhari Abba Kyari, Mr. Omar Mohammed were all informed of the stolen crude and were expected to take action. A subsequent letter written to the President by the whistleblower was, however, prevented from getting to him. The whistleblower said in October 2015 the stolen crude was moved from China without the knowledge of President Muhammadu Buhari and sold illegally by some government and NNPC officials with the proceeds of non-remittal to the government coffers. The Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, has said 14 airports nationwide are now open for full domestic operations. Senator Sirika, in a tweet on his Twitter handle, said ministerial approvals in and out of those airports were not required. He announced that the 14 airports were opened for full domestic operations, hence ministerial approval in and out of them is not required. This includes private and charter operations, saying that the fate of the remaining airports will be announced later. Senator Sharika added that the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, was approved for domestic operations on July 8. Alright, viewers, we'll go on a short commercial break, and when we come back, Standard Voice Television News continues. Welcome back. Let me quickly take you to our business desk for the business update.
Welcome to Standard Voice Business Update. Banks non-performing loans stood at 1.2 trillion naira as of the end of June, according to figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday. This amounted to about 6.4% of the gross credits of the banks to the economy, which stood at 18.9 trillion naira as of the period under review. The latest statistics shows that the bank have gradually reduced the bad debt in their books in recent years. This was linked to increased recoveries, write-offs and disposals by the lending institutions. According to the figures from the National Bureau of Statistics, unselected banking data, the lending institution non-performing loans stood at 1.67 trillion naira as at the end of March 2019, from a figure of 1.79 trillion at the end of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting last week. The Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele, affirmed that the non-performing loan had decreased in the sector. And that is all on Standard Voice Business Update. I'm Ogwa Rita.
And on the international scene, the Civil Aviation Organization of Iran announced on Friday that it will lodge a complaint with the International Civil Aviation Organization over harassment of its passenger plane by 2 U.S. fighter jets over the Syrian airspace on Thursday. In a statement, the Civil Aviation Organization of Iran urged the ICAO to immediately address the issue, which it said is a clear violation of the international law and the aviation standards and regulations. On Thursday evening, 2 U.S. fighter jets came close to an Iranian Beirut-bound passenger plane over Syrian airspace, which forced the pilot of Iran's Mayans Air to change altitude to avoid collision, according to Iran State TV. The Iranian plane had to dive and make a quick landing at the Beirut airport after U.S. warplanes blocked its passage. The Mahan aircraft, with over 150 passengers on board, was later landed safely in the Lebanese capital, but the incident caused the injury of several passengers. Iran State TV reported. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. The Nigerian government announces date of commencement of WAEC examination. No going back on 340 billion naira Chinese loan for rail light, says Kano state government. NMPC officials stole 48 million barrels of oil. On business, banks' non-performing loans now stands at 1.2 trillion naira. And on the international scene, Iran vows to lodge complaint against U.S. fighter jets for harassment of its passenger plane. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garba Tunal. I still remain Musa Joy Unyuza. Stay tuned.